about the rest of the qualifying action during the race review here. So the race itself, the front of the pack, obviously we had, at the end of the race, we had Max Verstappen winning. We had Lewis Hamilton in second place, and we had Valtteri Bottas in third. But it didn't really, leading into it, it didn't really seem, other than Max Verstappen running away with the race, right? It was a little more dramatic than what it presents itself as the podium.
Yeah, I mean, for it to be the usual podium that we usually get, which is Verstappen, Hamilton, and Bottas on the podium, this felt different. It felt very different because obviously Max Verstappen won the race. But this one was more like what we're used to seeing from Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a dominant win by Red Bull and Verstappen.
Yeah. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
There didn't be nothing in the air of suspicious that happened. No, we won.
Yeah, and then it seemed like Mercedes, even though they got a second and third, were almost helpless and just couldn't catch Red Bull. So it was, I don't know. I'm hoping that it's not like this for the rest of the season, because then we're going to get more of the same, just a different team.
Yeah.
But we finally have a team that we can legit say after 7 races in, they're eight races in, they're a legit contender, and they definitely can beat Mercedes. It's not on the line like, oh, maybe they can. No, they can definitely beat Mercedes. And the fact that they are developing the car more than Mercedes is. You know, Toto Wolff came out after the race saying that they stopped development of the car, which I don't know if
I don't believe it.
I find that hard to believe.
What I take that as is they stopped it and they're restarting it. They stopped it for like yesterday. Oh, we had to go home and we stopped.
Yeah, I mean,
when they clocked out.
Yeah.
It's not like the lead in the championship is insurmountable and it's only 8 races in. 8 out of 23 races on top of that. So I don't know if it's gamesmanship or if it's true, but I find it hard to believe that Mercedes is not going to make a run for it, or they're just going to stop. What do you think, Ruben?
No, what I think is, I think I said this briefly to you guys when we were watching the race. The tables have turned. Before it was Red Bull trying to play catch-up to Mercedes. It's now Mercedes being forced to play catch-up. So they probably have, their hands all the way up saying, what the hell did we miss? Like, how did we lose so much pace? Let's say, for example, they did stop developing the car. You better call everybody. They better start doing overtime. We got to get a crap on.
Yeah, but then the issue is, obviously, it's a cost cap. And what it seems to me is that Mercedes is thinking more long-term, because obviously we have a big...
but you're going to lose this year, and then...
Yeah, but you have rule changes that go on for the next few years after that.
So you're saying Red Bull's playing the short game by sticking so much money into this engine that whatever this car that we're going to lose in a couple of races?
I don't think they're playing the short game. I just think that Red Bull has a better... Remember, this car carries over from last year. Mm-hmm. And Red Bull is a team that is notoriously a slow starter as far as like car development. And then by the end of the year, they're actually pretty good. So if you have a car that you carry on from the previous year before, that means that not only do they have an entire year to develop the car, but now they're not starting off on the back foot.
Gotcha.
So,
or Mercedes is.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing to note is that this is the year where they introduce the
tokens.
Huh?
The tokens?
No, not the tokens. The time in the wind tunnel. So there's a handicap.
Gotcha.
So I believe right now Red Bull has more wind tunnel time than Mercedes.
Because of the
championship positions. Now, going into the second half of the year, that switches according to championship order. So in the second half of the year, Mercedes is going to have a little bit more time in the wind tunnel than Red Bull is, because Red Bull will be leading the championship.
So it's based that tight.
Yeah,
Not,
because there's
not
a like
what
I
you did probably previous year.
no, it's they're gonna change it in the middle of the year.
Jeez.
So
I mean,
I don't, right now, I don't know if it's Red Bull taking advantage, but they're also using resources and spending money on updating the car. At what point do they stop developing this car and start?
they run out of
developing
money.
next year? Yeah, but they have to develop next year's car too.
Gotcha. No, I'm saying as far as like the budget from this year, you're putting money into
As
this
opposed to what Mercedes is doing, according to Toto Wolff, is that they want to focus their resources on building next year's car, which is totally different, instead of spending so much time on this car, which by the end of this year is just it's not worth it. But they're also championship contenders. They're Mercedes. They're not just gonna, and it's Lewis Hamilton. They're just not gonna stop fighting. I find it hard to believe.
This weekend they didn't. But yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, they got punched in the face. So that was, what does Mike Tyson say?
Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face.
Now it's time to react, see what happens.
Absolutely.
And again, we all know that Mercedes, and especially Hamilton, as the season goes on, especially after the summer break, which is coming up soon, they get stronger. So we'll see what happens.
So I think it's a function of exactly what you mentioned. That car, they just kept developing it, the Red Bull car. I think that Red Bull just they're just doing the regular thing that they've been doing every year. Just continue to update the car. And Mercedes had to, I think we talked about it last time, that they had to modify their car right from the beginning because of the rake concept that they were running versus what Red Bull was running with the aero changes. The cost cap is also a factor, right? I think I had the numbers.
And Mercedes also started the season off on the back foot as far as
The rake.
with the rake concept.
So the cost cap includes salaries, right?
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't include driver salaries? I thought it did.
No, I think there's a limit on the driver's salary. Once you go over that, it comes
I think
up.
they were still
it comes out of your-
negotiating, but I think it's just
Okay.
No, I'm saying it's like it includes driver's salary once it passes like 30 million or something like that. And then
Total.
Yeah. Once the driver's salary passes 30 million, it comes out.
Okay.
The amount passed comes out of your cap as well.
Lewis Hamilton, 30 million. Valtteri Bottas, 10 million. So that's 40.
No, I don't know if it's per driver the 30 million limit or both combined. So I don't know.
I don't think that the driver's salary is included. I think it's just the development and just the team.
Okay.
So
Well, no, once you go over the 30 million limit, whatever is over the 30 million limit, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it's for both drivers or per driver. So, for example, in Lewis Hamilton's case, 30 million, he's at the limit.
yeah.
If he was to get 35, those extra 5 millions comes out of their budget.
Okay.
So it probably makes more sense to be combined than anything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no, but like I was saying, Red Bull's just pouring money into the car. They're pouring the development time, like Yhancy said, into the aero, and it's just what they've been doing this whole time.
They brought a big change to the diffuser. Like I said, I think that's why you see that Red Bull has been pulling away from Mercedes race by race. You see it like the gap getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Is because they've been able to develop the car more.
Yeah.
And
it's showing.
Yeah, and then any improvements that Mercedes has made is due to setup and tweaking what they have now, but they haven't brought any new parts in. And you hear Lewis after the race and after the post race interviews saying that it would be nice that if they brought new bits to the car as they usually do, but I mean there's no plans for it at the moment. He said that. So, and I'm paraphrasing, but that's technically the gist. So we'll see. I mean, but if Red Bull is this far ahead, do you think Mercedes sticks to their original plan, or they start bringing in new?
But they're
bits
not.
to the car?
They're not far ahead though. Like if you want to talk constructors championship standings, they're only up by 40 points, right? That's a double DNF, and then.
Right.
And we haven't seen that side of Red Bull yet.
We haven't seen that side of Red Bull yet, which it happens. One thing that we didn't talk about though is, okay, so we had the podium finishers, right? And we're talking about that gap between the Red Bull and the Mercedes. We saw Valtteri Bottas barely hold on to the lead after Perez had done his second pit stop during the race. He actually did his second pit stop lap 54 of 71 and started charging through the field and almost caught Bottas at the end.
Made up all that time.
Yeah. And in fact, I think during the broadcast, they had a graphic saying, it was like lap 60 or something like that he would catch Bottas in 7 laps, and that the overtake difficulty was like the bare minimum.
Two little dots.
Two little dots.
Oh man, they keep playing Bottas.
No, it's like what we were saying yesterday when watching the race. Have they said that Valtteri is fighting with anyone?
No, I mean, listen.
When's the last time they said that?
He did have
or scrapping with anyone.
He did have a better race here than he has had the past few races. He was a little bit more aggressive, but also remember that Perez could have easily gone on the podium if it wasn't for the pit stop for Perez, which he lost like 2 seconds to. So it was like a 4-second pit stop.
Mm-hmm.
But
so imagine, at the end of the race, what difference would that have
But
made?
that pit stop was to go in the harsh, right? That was his first pit stop. Was what the mistake.
Yeah. I don't want to discount that, but I also want to call into the fact something we didn't talk about during practice. Valtteri Bottas spins out literally in the pit lane. The McLaren team had to help push him back out, and there was like the radio sounded like the world was pretty much ending.
Yeah, like Toto Wolff said,
Armageddon.
I have yet to see. I haven't seen that video yet. I have to see it.
No, you gotta watch it.
Yeah.
So there's that. He ends up getting a 3-grid place penalty. He goes from 2nd down to 5th.
And he made up those.
Made up those spots, which we always complain about Valtteri Bottas not being able to make those spots.
Yeah. He drove better. He
likes this track. He's historically been pretty good on this track.
Yeah, he drove better.
So what? He passed Norris that had no pace. To be
had
at the
no
front.
pace. Okay.
To be at the front, had no race pace. Okay.
Don't
and he
insult the
he passed Perez that had a big mistake in the pits. What did he do?
Ooh, damn, being harsh.
He did not get to 2nd where he qualified at.
Duh.
He's gone.
No, yeah, I know that. Come on, I'm the biggest
I want him gone.
proponent of.
You want Russell in the seat?
Yeah.
You know that they asked Lewis about that. I think it was the pre-race, and
What did he say?
he said no, that Valtteri has probably been the best teammate that he's had. The team
he's
is
gonna say
the team
The
is
best fans
obviously is very harmonious and everybody's happy and they've won a few championships. So he would like to obviously would like for Valtteri to stay. They asked him about Russell. He said he's not my teammate. There's no reason to comment right now. So.
Boom. So he doesn't want him.
So I don't know, man. I mean, I've always said this. If, I don't see a good ending to putting in Russell.
It's not.
In the 2nd seat next to Hamilton. I think eventually at first it'll be fine, but then it'll rear its ugly head.
Yep.
A la like Leclerc and Vettel. When
Think
Leclerc
it'll be
came
worse
in, so
I don't think it'll be full like Rosberg levels.
No, not at that level. But
it'll be uncomfortable.
It'll be high tension.
Yeah, it'll be.
You know what? Speaking of Russell, hey guys, this is Wellington from the Jump to Start Racing crew. Before we start, I want to make sure to tell you to destroy that like button and to make sure to hit subscribe to be up to date with our episodes and clips. Please make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Our handle on both platforms is @JumpTheStartF1. See you there.